Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Solana. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check that out if that's more what you're interested in. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so in the previous video, we were talking about that possibility of seeing an extension to the upside. Now, I am still looking out for this potential that we are looking at this as a bigger five-wave structure here, and I'll continue to do so within this current count for as long as we actually stay above this level here of this 2441. If we do hold this zone, potentially what we could have is the yellow fourth wave over here taking place and still looking to push up into this 3841 to this 3451 as a potential fifth wave. Now, if we are looking at this, what this would then imply is that we're going to get a series of additional fourths and fifths to the upside here, in which case our potential target could actually be this 5204 to this 4461. Now, this would be primary count for as long as we continue to maintain this 2441. Now, if we do look to hold this level and push to the upside, then this would align with this idea here. Now, what I'm also just being mindful of is there is also the potential that we could count this structure slightly different. So what we could also argue within this is that we have this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is our fourth, and then we have an extension in the fifth. Now, it would be a very strange structure for this wave 3, but this would be that we'd actually potentially have a bigger fourth wave target area, which would actually also allow for a bigger wave 2 here. So going to be on the lookout that, you know, if we fail to achieve the additional fourths and fifths and we look to push down in a bigger way here, but still maintain this level here of this 2448 to this 2247, what we could still see is this continuation to the upside. So our fifth wave target would be this $40.39 to this 35.18. So we have come up here and we've cleaned out all these boxes that I had drawn here. I still do have one higher up here which has got some levels in it. We do have a daily naked point of control towards the bottom end of this, and we also do have this monthly naked point of control higher up here. As well as that, there's that potential to come back into this high here at this 38.78. So going to be keeping an eye on this idea of seeing this continuation up here, looking to target out some of those higher areas. So if we do see this as an additional fourth wave, I want to see this hold this 2247 level, and then we want to see a fifth wave to the upside. This is probably more likely, even though it has a strange count for this wave 3 here. You know, this would make a lot more sense structure wise for this wave 4 here to become a little bit bigger here for this fifth wave. So we're going to be keeping an eye on it as long as we hold this zone. Now, this 2247 is going to be an interesting level if we actually do get a retest here, as well as that, you know, this 382 could be coming back into some of these highs that we got over here. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this level as a possible support zone if we do look for this continuation up. Now, if we do see these waves play out exactly as I have them marked out here, effectively what we'd be looking for would be this 46.59 to this 40.50. Now, within our higher degree count here, what we were talking about is that potential that we're looking for that bigger ABC to the upside here, and effectively that is looking at the idea here that what we have is a bigger A, a B, and then we're looking for this C wave to the upside. So this would align with coming up here into our 1-to-1. However, we also need to just be cautious because we have already come past this 0.618. So if this is somehow completed within the structure here, it starts, we need to just be cautious because this could actually then mean that we start to see some downside come in here. So going to be looking and maintaining, you know, a watchful eye on these fourth wave locations. If we do continue to hold these, we do have potential for this continuation to the upside 1-to-1 up here towards this 43.11 as a possible target. Now, another thing I just want to discuss here, it's not my primary expectation here, but it is also possible that within this, because if we are looking at this move to the upside as an A wave, what we could actually have is that our B wave could still be incomplete, where we're still forming this B wave as a bigger structure here. So if we are looking at something like that, I'm just being mindful of something like this, where we could argue that we have this as an A wave. If this is just a corrective move to the upside and we fail to achieve those additional fourths and fifths here, what we could actually see is, you know, price could actually start to break down here in a five-wave structure. If we do, the first place I'm going to be looking at is this 1-to-1 15.27 as a possible target, and then if we do look to become an expanding flat here, 12.79 to 9.61 is going to be the next zone that I'm going to be looking for here as a possible support zone. Now, this would align with the idea of coming back down lower here particularly the higher level of this would align with coming into that golden pocket. And then we also do have the 786 sitting lower down here towards one of these other target boxes. So going to be keeping an eye on this. If we do start to break down in a bigger way here, then we could still see something like this, where this becomes a B wave, and this would mean that we could still possibly see a C wave up. But we'd have to be cautious because, you know, if we do start to see something like this as a flat correction, just need to be careful that, you know, this isn't beginning the next leg down where this becomes W, X, and Y, or A, B, and then a C wave to the downside. So we're gonna have to just, you know, keep an eye on those moves as we see the structure start to develop here. Coming in here and having a look at the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that these are slowly starting to make lower highs here. So this is not a good sign. What we want to see for continuation is for these to start to make higher highs again. If we fail to do this, this could actually indicate that we're going to continue to see that downside come in. Now, we are currently below these lines, which are sitting towards this 25.67 and this 26.18. If we fail to break back above these, this could mean that we start to see a move down here towards this 24.50. Other targets for today is this 23.59, 22.20, and this lower range here of this 21.29. If, however, we do manage to flip these for today, we do have targets to the upside of this 26.79. We have this 28.26. We have this level here of this 29.14 and this 30.56 as possible upside targets for today. So there's not much time left. We will get new CPRs printed tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on how those are developing. Now, within these weekly CPRs, what we can see here is that we did come up and we've hit these green targets. Now, we are below these CPR lines again. Now, if we do fail to actually break back above these, we need to just be on the lookout for that possibility of retesting this 21.20 level, which would be much lower down here as our S1 target. So need to be on the lookout for that. If we do see price move back to the upside, we could potentially find resistance at this 26.37 to this 27.10 within these CPR lines. These could actually start to offer us resistance here. Now, if we do manage to flip back above these over the weekend, possibly we could see price still look to push to the upside here, targets being this 32.99. We have this 38.58 and this 44.77 as possible upside targets still for this week. Downside targets for this week below that level would be the $15. We have this 9.42 as possible downside targets. Now, if we are looking at the monthly here, what we can see is that we have actually achieved this S3 line here. Now, what I'd be looking out for is if we do look to continue to move to the downside, 23.15 could potentially offer us support, as well as that if we do look to move to the upside here, potentially we could find resistance at this 27.48. So if we start to form a bigger corrective move down here, possibly we could look to come back and retest this 23.19, and then we'd have to see whether we find support here. If we do look to break down deeper, we could possibly still look to find support at this 18.43 to this 17.58, but we'd have to just be careful that by that point we haven't started to form some kind of an impulsive structure to the downside where this could be 1-2, 1-2, and then we look to break down in a bigger way here where this becomes an A, B, and a bigger C wave to the downside. So we need to just be careful of that. We do have possible support here. We do have that fib support from that idea of the fourth waves. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these levels, particularly towards this 23.19 would also align with that idea of that lower target for that bigger fourth wave here, something like this. So going to be keeping an eye on that for the rest of the month. If we do start to lose these central lines, what we could see as downside targets here would be this 1366, 851, and the lowest targets for this month is this 420. Now, we don't always have to hit these targets, and we could just actually consolidate here for the rest of the month. We'll just have to see exactly how the price actually reacts to these levels. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.